The following overview of the advising file is not intended as an exhaustive demonstration, but rather just the highlights most relevant to concentration and minor advising. The best way to familiarize yourself with the file is simply to open it up and click around, noting what kind of information is found where. Some of the information you will just need to view. In other cases, you'll be entering information in the form of advising contact notes, exceptions to requirements, and concentration or minor releases. Although you should obviously strive for accuracy and completeness, you can always append a note or enter a new updated release. To delete or revise a note or exception, contact Mark Guevara at mguevara@umich.edu. If you haven't already bookmarked the advising file, there is a link to it in the Quick Links section of the Advisor Handbook. To get to an individual student's file, enter any of the information indicated by the search fields: UMID, unique name, last, and/or first name, and either press Enter on your keyboard or click on the search button. Then, click on the Open button next to the student's entry in the search results. You can also find all students who are assigned to you by searching by Assigned Advisor, but more on this later. On the cover sheet of the student's file, you will see a variety of information. Primary academic information is in the gray shaded areas. Across the top of the cover sheet is a series of navigational links to different sections of the file. The sections you will likely use most frequently are Contents and Audit. There is a separate tutorial on the Audit section, but this is where you can generate an automated report or checklist of where the student stands with regard to college and/or concentration minor requirements. On the left-hand side of the Contents section is another set of navigational links. The Contents section opens to the contact notes by default. This is where notes that advisors have written summarizing their conversation with students, as well as the responses to 2 surveys that students take in preparation for orientation, are archived. In addition to the contact notes, the other areas of the contents that you will likely be using most frequently are exceptions and concentration releases. These are separate tutorials on each of these subsections, but as their name indicates, exceptions is where advisors can enter and/or view exceptions to concentration, minor, or college requirements, and concentration releases is where advisors can enter and/or view concentration and minor releases. A last couple of subsections in the advising file that you may use on occasion are advisor assignments mentioned previously and progress to degree worksheets. Progress to degree worksheets will be covered as a separate tutorial. Advisor assignments allow students to be assigned to specific advisors for record keeping and other purposes. To enter an advisor assignment, simply click on the button, then click Add, and select your department or program from the Advising Office drop-down menu. The advisor should have defaulted to you, but I will have to select my own name. Next, select Concentration from the Advisor Function drop-down menu. The status should have defaulted to Active, and the effective date defaults to the current date. If you know when your tenure as an advisor ends, you can enter an end date in the textbook labeled as such. Then click Save, and you should see your assignment listed, which you can delete or edit if necessary. If you are entered as the assigned advisor for specific students, you can search the advising file for all these students on the student search page with which we began this tutorial. The students assigned to you listed in the search results can be sorted or ordered by any of the criteria in the blue boxes across the top. This will, for example, allow you to find and to do outreach to current students who are either doing well enough to be invited to consider an honors concentration or who are struggling and may need assistance, or to be directed to support resources. That's it for the overview of the advising file. As mentioned previously, the best way to become familiar is just by using it. Don't worry, you can't break it. If you have questions along the way, don't hesitate to contact Mark Guevara at mguevara at umich.edu or your liaison in the Noonan Advising Center. Additional hands-on training is available at the beginning of each academic year and at various other times. Contact Susan Gass at sgass@umich.edu or your liaison in the Noonan Advising Center for more information.